up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about the beloved Avo toast. You love it, I love it. We all love Avo toast, but what I don't love about the traditional avocado toast is that there's no protein. I don't know about you, but I need protein to help keep me full and satiated at every single meal. Otherwise, I'm hungry like 10 minutes later. And not only that, I need enough protein to help me fuel my gains and build muscle in the gym. So today, I'm gonna show you 4 different ways to get over 25 grams of protein with your avocado toast. Some of them have way more than 25 grams, so I know you're gonna love this video. Let's get into it. All of these different options are gonna have different protein sources, and of course, the first one is tofu. You guys know I love tofu. For this first variation, we're gonna start by obviously opening up an avocado. This one was so perfect. It is just the best feeling when you have a nice, perfectly green avocado. I'm just giving that a quick slice and then I'm popping it into a bowl. And then I'm gonna add in some tofu. So depending on what your macro targets are, you can adjust the amount of tofu. I went with 80 grams of tofu here. I'm just crumbling it in. And then from here, you can just add in any of your favorite avocado toppings that you would usually put on top. So I'm going with some lemon, some everything bagel seasoning, which is so yummy on avocado toast. If you haven't tried this one, highly recommend. Then I'm going in with some nutritional yeast. If you didn't know, nutritional yeast is extremely high in protein. So adding just a couple tablespoons here will really up the protein content. Then I'm just going in with some salt and pepper, and I have a little baby distraction here. So obviously I had to let him say hi. And once all of your desired seasonings and flavors are added, you're just gonna mash it up until it looks like this. The type of bread that you use does matter because different breads have different protein contents. The one that I usually use is the Country Harvest whole grain and protein bread, but of course they were out of stock at the store. So we're just gonna pretend that this here is the Country Harvest protein whole grain bread. So for example, the Country Harvest bread for 2 slices has 13 grams of protein, and this one, the Silver Mills bread, still a very great bread, really great ingredients, but this one only has 7 grams of protein for 2 slices. So if your goal is getting in enough protein, definitely look at the protein content in your bread and try to get a higher protein bread if possible. We're gonna imagine that this is the high protein bread. I'm gonna grab 2 slices of my high protein bread and just add that avocado mixture on top and then close it up just like a sandwich. Then I'm going to pop it onto a pan. I'm using a little bit of olive oil, but you could also do this with no oil if you are watching your fats. I just love having the oil in there. I think it just adds so much to the flavor and gives it a nice golden color. And you basically just grill it like a grilled cheese, and it tastes so good this way. I mean, look how insane that looks. Ooh, look at how good that looks. This is one of my favorite ways to make Avo toast, like grilling it like a grilled cheese. It really takes it to the next level. Time for a taste test. So good. Wow. Moving on to our second Avo toast variation, and for this variation, I'm using lupini beans as the protein. Lupini beans are so high in protein. As you can see here, half a cup has 16 grams of protein. I'm pretty sure that these are the bean or legume with the highest amount of protein, so I love adding these to my avocado toast, to my salad, just so many different things because they are so high in protein and they're loaded with fiber. So I'm gonna use some sourdough bread for this one. And if you don't know this hack, I'm just slicing a clove of garlic and then just rubbing it on the sourdough bread, and that's gonna give it a nice garlicky flavor. And then I'm just adding everything on top. So I'm going in with 3/4 of an avocado. That's kind of like my standard for Avo toast, but of course, depending on your macros, you can use more or less. I'm also going in with some lemon juice, and then I'm gonna pop some of those lupini beans on top here. I ended up using 3/4 of a cup. If you go off the nutrition facts on the can, that is 24 grams of protein from the lupini beans alone. I'm also adding on that everything bagel seasoning and this balsamic glaze that I get at Costco. It just adds the perfect sweet touch, and I love adding this on top of my Avo toast. This one's definitely one of our go-tos. I just love lupini beans, and I'm curious if you guys know about lupini beans because I actually just discovered them like a year or 2 ago. And I put them on everything. Avo toast, they're really good in salads. They add a really nice crunch. So let me know if you guys know about lupini beans, but I'm going to give these a little taste test. I mean, I already know what it tastes like, but still. Mmm. So yummy. It adds a really nice crunch, and the garlic on the toast, so good. For the extra lupini beans in the can, I usually just store them in a container and pop them in the fridge. I actually usually save the brine that they're stored in and pop all of that into the container. I don't know why I forgot to save it this time, but that is usually how I store it, and these will last in the fridge for weeks. Moving on to the next Avo toast variation, and I think that this one has become my new favorite. I'm just grabbing my toast. I'm using the high protein toast here, and then I'm popping on some avocado and just mashing that all over. And then once that is on, for the protein, I am using this Light Life smoky tempeh bacon. I absolutely love this stuff. It is so yummy, and I love that it's pre-seasoned, so it just makes it so much easier to throw together a meal or just pop this on some Avo toast. It is a little bit on the pricier side, so you could also pre-batch some tempeh bacon and then just keep it in your fridge and put that on top instead if you want a little bit more bang for your buck. Then I'm just adding in my seasonings. I'm going again with my everything bagel seasonings and some fresh chives. And that is it. Look at how delicious this is, and it literally took me 5 minutes to make. This is one of my go-to lunches at the moment. Time for a taste test. You guys, this one is so yummy. It's like perfectly salty and smoky. Oh, it is just such a yummy lunch. For the fourth and final variation for these high protein Avo toasts, I'm using white kidney beans or cannellini beans as the protein source, but you could use any beans really. You could use lentils, which is one we use quite often. You could use black beans or any of your other favorite beans or legumes. I'm making this similarly to the first one where I'm popping everything into a bowl and smashing it up. So I'm adding the avocado, lemon juice, nutritional yeast, and those white kidney beans, salt and pepper, and some everything bagel seasoning. And then I'm just going to give it a good mash, but again, you could just pop the beans right on top of the sandwich if you'd like. And then I'm going to spread that over the bread, and I'm also gonna be adding some pickled onions to my Avo toast. Pickled onions are another really great way to elevate any dish, and I just find the combo of pickled onions on Avo toast is so yummy. I'm also adding on some chives and hemp seeds for some extra omegas here. Last taste test. So good. I love pickled things. I feel like pickled things just make everything better. Absolutely love this. Sometimes I do crave having Avo toast without any added proteins on top, just like plain old Avo toast. And when I do that, I usually pair it with a protein shake just to give me an extra 25 grams of protein very easily. I'm someone who really needs a protein source with every single meal. Otherwise, I'm just not full, I'm not satiated, and I'll just be like snacky and going into my snack cupboard for like 10 minutes just picking on a bunch of random things. So whenever I do have just plain Avo toast, and even PB&J, I do this with PB&J as well. If I'm craving a PB&J, I'll just have a protein shake on the side of it. You guys know my favorite protein powder is from Veg Nutrition. Right now I've been loving the cold brew latte flavor because it basically tastes like a Starbucks latte. I mix it with some soy milk. It has 25 grams of protein per scoop and 100 grams of caffeine. So it's like a little afternoon pick-me-up as well. Absolutely love it, and you can use my code VEGANBABE to save 15% on all Veg Nutrition products. They're also super clean, USDA certified organic, and third-party tested for any contaminants like pesticides, heavy metal, arsenic, any of that stuff. You can be rest assured Veg Nutrition has none of it, which is super important for something like protein powder if you're consuming it every single day, because a lot of these things are accumulative in your body. That's just a little bonus high protein hack for you guys. Let me know which one you are most excited to try. I think my favorite is the one with the Light Life smoky tempeh on top, but I also love when it's grilled like a grilled cheese. Maybe I should do that together, you know, like the Light Life tempeh and make it as a grilled cheese avocado toast. Maybe with some vegan cheese, that would be absolutely fire. But yeah, let me know which one you like the best, and I will see you guys in the next video.